Bionox is motivating wellness. Anything else with regards to the essential oils, how you use them in everyday life? Maybe explaining a little bit more about how they work and why they work.
Sure. It's my favorite part of what has helped me so much. So a lot of people, like I said, they're not all created equal. So I've done a lot of research, and so I would just be careful. I just want to tell people, don't go out there and just buy something over the counter, because it's usually tainted. It'll say 100% pure. It just needs one drop of oil in there, and they can put whatever else they want in the bottle. So that you do need to be careful. With that said, if it's we use it in everything. My goodness, we have essential oils. We cook with them. We use them on our skin. We use them in our shampoo and our all natural body washes. We don't want to put synthetics on our skin. So we teach people that we can use them topically, aromatically, or we can ingest them if they are pure essential oils. Like Young Living, I wouldn't ingest something over the counter. So yeah, they have been. I mean, I bought this kit, I got to tell you, and I was like, this is all I'm buying. It's kind of like, I just, we were just in a place that I was not sure. And now I have, I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of oils and different things. And we use them in everything. We make our own body sprays. We make pretty much everything out of them. So I love cooking with them. That's the best, because you get them internal. They make your food taste amazing. And you're just, you're using them. So they basically work in like the limbic part of your brain first, and that's where emotions and memory is stored. So you can think about you go to grandma's house and you smelled cookies growing up, and then you're at someone's house and the same smell comes, and what does it takes you back to that. So they can help us emotionally get balanced. And they work like an herb. An herb is dried out. However, the oil is like that lifeblood of the plants. So all the goodness and all the healing properties are in that oil. So when you apply them to your body, they're tiny microscopic molecules that can get into your cells and heal from the cells, instead of just the symptom. You're actually healing the body. So we love it. We use it every day. So.
Oh, well, going back to, it's good that you were willing to try one more thing. So just in
Yeah.
your comment
Well,
there, if you started with that pack because you're like, we'll just do this pack, and if something happens, we might do more, but so I think that's an important part of this conversation too. Again, going back to that, we're hope dealers. You can't give up. You want to. I've had chronic issues in my past as well, where I thought, I don't, and I was already had a practice as a naturopath, and that's where my health crisis came. And so it tested, what I believed in, and it doesn't happen overnight. You have to go through the process, and you have to be willing to try that one more thing.
yeah, we tell
Because
time your body didn't get unhealthy in one day, so you need to give it some time. It took us years to get here, but yeah, I'm so thankful that I just said, okay, let's try this one more time, and it's changed our lives. We're a completely different family, completely different trajectory. It's just been an amazing journey.
cool, very cool. We appreciate you sharing all about your practice and helping us to understand essential oils. Let's talk about nitric oxide, which is
Yes.
my favorite topic. Um, just because of all the things I kind of got involved in 2005, and it changed just like with essential oils with you, it changed everything. It had some definite impact on my health, but what I saw with other people's health was just things I hadn't seen before. So how did you get into then working with nitric oxide supplementation?
I'm sure. I had a cardiovascular scan done, and my natural doctor told me to try this supplement. And to be honest, I didn't at first, because I was like, I'm doing my oils. Yeah,
Right,
I'm fine, right?
right, right.
So I didn't try that one thing at first. And then it came up again, and I was like, all right, well, I had to research it. I'm just not going to take something. I have to like look at the company, find out how they source it, all the things. And I was, read up on you guys and what you do. And I was like, okay, this is good. I can put this in my body. And so we started with M3, and the berry one is so amazing. So
Mhm.
I was like, I don't eat sugar. So to me, that's like the sweetest. I'm like, I feel like I'm drinking Kool-Aid. This is great. Like my dessert, you know? So we started with that, and I had my husband on it and some family members, and then we brought it into our practice, and we have seen unbelievable results, and we're just really, it's goes off the shelf faster than anything else. I can't keep it in. So it's good.
Love, love that. Love it. Love to hear the stories and the feedback. And interestingly enough, since you mentioned flavor, uh, these components in, of course, you're talking about the M3 product there. This is the berry. This is our number one seller. It's our original flavor, and it's our best seller. Even when people don't know about which flavor to choose, they gravitate towards the berry. Of course, it comes in citrus as well for those that don't like berry or want to change things up. But arginine, which is the major component in M3, it's a nitric oxide precursor, one of the most well-researched precursors for nitric oxide. And arginine has been said it tastes somewhere between uh, dirty gym socks and putrefied fish, if you can imagine.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's what you have to work with. And we're putting, over 5 grams in every serving. So it's not easy to naturally make an arginine powder. And we wanted to make it a powder because as we mix it up, liquid is always better than a capsule as far as its absorption capacities. Sort of like what you mentioned with oils. I mean, you're getting healing from the time you sniff it, and or apply it to your skin. So same thing, liquids, when you can mix up into a liquid, it's better. So, but we did work hard. So now we have all natural flavoring components, all natural sweeteners, which is monk fruit and stevia. We also use organic inulin, which is a prebiotic. It has some natural sweetness as well. So it wasn't easy to get it to taste that good. And it makes it a little more expensive to make it taste that good. But it's important that you kind of look forward to taking these things. I think it makes the compliance go way up when it tastes
It does.
tastes good. So you mentioned M3. I think you also mentioned to me that you do the Knox 3 greens in your
Yep.
practice there. So could you just share with us a few of your amazing stories with the Bionox products?
Sure. I don't have any green story yet because we just got those in last week. So I'm looking forward to more stories with that. But the Bionox, I have a friend who was on it. Her cholesterol was high, and she came in and she said, she wanted to go on it. She did a cardio scan. And so we put her on there, and she was on it for about a month and a half, 2 months. And she called me, like went to the doctor. She called me. She's like, my cholesterol came down. She's so excited. And so that was great. I was like, oh, good. That's awesome. But I got to tell you, I have so many people on M3. It's ridiculous. I like supply it for like my whole family, my parents, my sisters, their husbands. I'm like, y'all, you need this. Like, it's good stuff. So they're enjoying just the energy that they get from it. And we're looking forward to getting their next cardio scan to see where their number is. My favorite story is a friend of mine. She's a pastor's wife, about an hour and a half from here. And she had an appointment to get stents put in. She needed 2 or 3, and it was about 2 months away. And we had gotten her on some M3, and she was taking it twice a day. And again, she loved it, wanted to know if she could take it 3 times a day because it tasted so good. I was like, no, just let's stick to twice. Okay. So she could, though, it's great stuff. But anyhow, she went in for that appointment, and she called me, and she was like, could this have anything to do with the M3 that I'm on? It's the only thing I've changed, but they couldn't put the stents in because my arteries, everything's clear. And I was like, smooth like Teflon. That's what we say, right?
Right.
So that just floored me. I couldn't believe it. So they told her, I don't know what you're doing, but do not stop. Your arteries look better than they have. Your heart looks great. And so just to see that was, really, I told her I should make her my poster child and put her on, because that just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen when you go on the statins and stuff that they put you on. You're still getting those stents put in. So I don't know if that's okay to say, but it's, people have gone down that road and they end up on so many medicines, one after the other. And we've seen several people come off. I have one girl that comes in. She was a stroke victim 3 times. and she could not even walk in. She was, her people would bring her. She lives an hour and a half away. People do travel to get here because there's nothing like this anywhere. And so she couldn't walk in the door. She had a walker. She could barely make it to the counter. And we sat her down. We've become fast friends. Now she's on M3. It's all a synergy. Okay. There's never one thing that makes all the difference, but M3 is one of her game changers. She does the Clear Mind Focus and a few other things, but she now drives herself here. This has been 3 months. She drives herself here from Mayville. She can talk and speak. Her legs are working better. And I'm just so thrilled with the results that she's had. So we're just really excited. Again, we're only like 6 months into using M3 here. So I'm excited to see what stories are going to come,
Right.
as we go down the path. But
Wow, that is powerful. Well, I appreciate you sharing those. And we just come to expect. I've been doing this since 2005. I actually sold my practice so that I could share this story that you're just sharing. These stories to other practitioners and whoever would listen, because that's what we were seeing, and the research is so bona fide. I mean, we're talking about over 100,000 research articles on nitric oxide and nitric oxide precursors like arginine and the ingredients that are in the M3. We won't get into all the science about it at this point, but we'll touch on it. And that is that, first of all, we don't make any claims. And I know you're not, these are results that people have had. That's their story, and you can't deny it. We don't make any claims about our product. And that's what I love about uh, nitric oxide precursors like the M3 and the NOx3 greens, is that all we're doing is helping the body to make its own medicine. So nitric oxide is your body's own medicine that does just as you said, takes arteries that are clogged up and like Velcro and makes them like Teflon. Where did this come from? That word picture actually is from Dr. John Cook, from the head of cardiovascular research at Stanford. And that's what he said in his book called The Cardiovascular Cure, is that same exact word picture, where all we're trying to do is make those arteries more Teflon-like instead of more Velcro-like. And that's what nitric oxide does. So when you facilitate your body's own medicine, start creating more nitric oxide, it naturally helps the cholesterol levels to improve. It naturally helps to reverse things like plaque, like your friend experienced. So, all we're doing is facilitating, as you mentioned, what our bodies are created to do on their own. So love those stories. Really appreciate you sharing those. Those are powerful, especially since you've only got started 6 months ago. So
right.
keep me posted, because I know there's more coming.
Yes, sir.
And you're using the smart pulse there as well, right? That's what you're using to gauge the cardiovascular status, where you're seeing where people are as far as their pulse wave is concerned, and rechecking them later. Is that right?
At this point, we're actually ordering ours this week. So we were
Okay.
using somebody else's, they were bringing it in. So yeah, I'm very excited to get our own and have it in the clinic. So.
Cool. Yeah. And what I've seen is that 90% of the time, what people will test, if they test poorly, if they'll do these nutritional protocols and retest 90 days later, 90% of them test better. So it's a great tool. It's so cool because it's non-invasive, and it's a great way to track people's progress. They're engaged because they can see their own results. And what's different about Smart Pulse as compared to SpectraVision, or doing amp coil voice, voicing and those type of things, is that those things are amazing. I use all of them, but they are somewhat subjective as
Yeah.
compared to the Smart Pulse. It's very objective. The practitioner doesn't play any role in it. You put it on the finger, and so it's just a great way to verify things in a different way. So you'll love using it. So again, look forward to hearing more of the cool stories that you have. Do you do any sort of metal? You find heavy metal toxicity issues with your folks much?
Yeah, we do. It comes up a lot on Spectra Vision. I love your product. So actually I just got rid of my last bottle. So I have to get some more. And we use it with, I actually give that to them with some fish oil or like a flaxseed oil just to help the binding process. But yeah, it's really prevalent here with the old houses. We have a lot of lead paint and a lot of kids come in with metal exposure, but aluminum fillings, I mean, all the things that people use, we're exposed to it every day. So yeah, it's definitely an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. It jams up a lot of different systems, right? The endocrine system, the digestive system, definitely does the cardiovascular system as well. So fantastic. Metals are definitely causative. What's the interesting thing about how it relates to nitric oxide, and learned this actually very recently. Always been a big advocate of chelation type therapy, and that's what our Bionox product is, I guess, that you're talking about. That helps, it's like a magnet for metals. It just helps to move them out. But what he explains, this is Dr. Gary Gordon. He's like the forefather of chelation therapy, and he's a believer in the IV as well as the oral. And one thing that he stated, which I didn't realize, is that the magic, if you will, of chelation, as far as the cardiovascular benefits, is again how it relates to nitric oxide. So lead binds to the nitric oxide synthase enzyme component. And if you don't make nitric oxide synthase, you cannot complete that transfer of the arginine into nitric oxide. And to facilitate the nitric oxide synthase, you need zinc. And what lead does, it binds to those zinc receptors because they're so similar on the periodic table, they're very similar. And so if those zinc receptors are bound up with lead, then you can't absorb the zinc to complete that process. So again, the benefits of chelation really goes back to how it affects nitric oxide. So I thought that was really, really cool and important. And so it's something that people need to be really looking at doing, especially in some sort of facility like you have, because we're always dealing with causes. Well, metals is a definite cause to many health problems. So I'm glad to hear that you're involved in that.
Yes, for sure.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just agreed with you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Great. Always love that. So tell us a little bit outside of that, things that I know you mentioned the beginning, things that you like to do. I mean, if you got an afternoon with your husband and family or grandkids, and just tell us some of the things you enjoy doing.
We live right outside of Allegheny State Park, which is a huge park in the mountains. And so we love to hike and we love to camp, which, time allowing. So yeah, if we have a day away, it's, we'll either drive up and, get some rocks off the beach, or we'll go up into the mountains and take a little hike, or, we really just love spending time. We love board games and playing cards. Like, it's kind of like if everybody's home at the same time. I have five kids that live with me. We took in another kid. So 4 of those boys are adult boys, 18, 19, and 22. And I have a 9-year-old daughter at home. My oldest is married with kids, but if we can get them all home at the same time, like, you better believe we're getting some cards on the table, or, something fun to do. And it's always an adventure in our house. Somebody's wrestling, throwing someone through the rooms, having fun. So it's just never dull. We just love, I love being together with the family. So
Cool.
yeah.
Boys will be boys, won't they?
Oh my husband's the worst.
I'm sure he's the ringleader. Well,
Yes.
it's been great spending time with you today, Tina. Appreciate all the things that you've done, your journey with your son, and what you're doing in your community there as far as helping them back on the road to health. Anything in passing that you'd like to say?
No, honestly, I'm just super honored to learn from you, and what you just said about how the lead, and I mean, my mind is going like, I got to go do some research. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, so I really appreciate your time and inviting me on today. It's been great.
Oh, you bet. You bet. We've loved it, and we're gonna get you some cool Bionox swag bottles and some
Thank
t-shirts
you.
and things. But so we want you representing representing us. So we love that
Absolutely.
you're motivating wellness where you're at. Keep up the good work. And again, thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.